Live here on Mike Drop Sports. Appreciate you diving in. What's up, Miss Pittsburgh? What's up, Gesture Prods? Good to see you guys early in the chat. Appreciate it. As always, man, if you're not watching it now, you can watch it later once it uploads, but make sure you're hitting that like button. Super chats are always open if you want your comment read quickly. Truly appreciate that. And we're going to talk a little Steelers football as usual. But here we are, man. A lot going on still. A lot of franchises out there right now don't really have too much going on in terms of the drama that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going into, or have going on, rather. And yeah, that's kind of interesting. And then it's kind of sucky in the same aspect also. So yeah, you're getting both worlds here. You're getting the shitty part of the drama, the shitty part of the waiting, the shitty part of the whole thing, but yet you're getting excitement. You're getting something to talk about here in the off season, here in the period directly before the NFL draft, which is going to be absolutely exciting. And I know a lot of people are talking about this draft pick or that draft pick and which move, that move, how should this go? I think it's all real clear, guys. I said that last night too. But we'll dive into all that here again today. Jester Prod said, should the Steelers Jackson Dart, or should they draft Jackson Dart, or should they draft a running back from UNC, Marion Hampton, so that they don't have to pay Jalen Warren and give him a huge payday so that they can pay George Pickens? Here's the thing with all that. That's down the road. The Steelers honestly don't have to pay George Pickens really anything but a franchise tag from now for 2 years. They have really 2 years of control over George Pickens if they want that to be the case. As far as Jalen Warren's concerned, he still has to have a year in which he has to tote the rock and be that guy, be the lead dog. And I think he can do that. But bringing a running back in, guys, is going to be of utmost importance. The Steelers, they need another running back that is a massive force. The Steelers want to be a running football team. As far as paying Jalen Warren, you're not to that spot yet. And again, I'm all about looking ahead. I'm all about looking into the future and planning for those things as a football team. But right now, you're not at that part with Jalen Warren. And again, you could have 2 years of control with George Pickens. So what do you do? Do you draft somebody? Do you need to draft somebody? And I think that answer is yes. But I think you can do that in several different ways. We talked about a guy last night hold on, who was it? Who was that guy that I loved from TCU? What was his name, man? Savion Williams. Sorry, guys, I was drawing a blank. But you look at a guy like Savion Williams, you could get a receiver and a guy out of the backfield to add in with Jalen Warren. That's an option. Or you go out there and get a guy like an Marion Hampton, which Genty, those guys are going to be gone early inside of the NFL draft, guys. I don't believe they make it to a pick where the Steelers are available to get them. But never say never. Again, we never discount anything in the NFL. It's the NFL. But should we do that? I think the answer is yes. But I don't think it's a reason to get rid of Jalen Warren. If it happens to be part of it, a young guy comes in and takes over the reins and produces in a big way, and they start to lean on him, so be it. Maybe they're running back by committee and you don't have to pay a ton of money to Jalen Warren, and you could still keep that backfield intact with a young guy on a rookie contract. So, we get a little bit of ahead of ourselves sometimes. The question's really good, Gesture, and it's very forward thinking, no doubt about it. But the answers aren't clear cut because so many things can change. But the simple answer to the question is, absolutely, you got to bring in another running back. But how it affects the other parts of your question is very difficult to say. As far as George Pickens is concerned, I believe if Aaron Rodgers comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's no way in hell they trade George Pickens, in my opinion, because they're going to optimize the weapons. Because let's face the facts, guys. If Aaron Rodgers comes to the Steelers, it's all about winning now. It's all about winning a Super Bowl now, and they will keep George Pickens in that fold for as long as he is valuable. And there is no doubt about that. And they can control him for 2 seasons. So bringing Aaron Rodgers in is going to tell you a lot, because they're not going to get rid of any weapons they currently have. All they are going to do is add to the weaponry. They are not going to get rid of anybody in terms of significant weapons, significant pieces that can contribute to help one Aaron Rodgers. So that's definitely in play there. George Pickens, again, is an interesting character because you could use him as trade bait. You got DK Metcalf now in the building. So there's a lot of things at play, and we're going to have to continue to watch this summer march on, my friends. D, if the Ravens win the Super Bowl, would you burn a terrible towel? No, absolutely not. I don't disrespect anything that the great Myron Cope had a hand in making. Myron Cope, an absolute legend in the city of Pittsburgh, not only with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but just an absolute legendary Pittsburgher, and I would never do that. Troy, I truly don't want the Steelers to get Milroe. I watched him for 2 years. He sucks. Yeah, there's some people that, piggyback off the national media. They're going to repeat everything the national media says rather than really truly evaluate that player for themselves sometimes. I'm not saying Jalen Milroe's like a horrible option. I'm not saying that. But he's not NFL ready, guys. He's not at any type of NFL level in passing right now. That's my opinion. That's from in-game experience. And I know everybody wants to talk about pro days and shit. You just heard Cam Ward had the best pro day of all. We've never seen a pro day like that. Get a life, dude. It is football in shorts, no pads, no helmet, no pass rush, no nothing. Who gives a shit? That's not what you're looking for on pro days. What you're looking for on pro days is footwork and things of that nature. But then again, you're not getting a true evaluation of footwork either when there is no pass rush, when there's no pads on. It's not in-game experience. You're not getting a true evaluation of that, guys. Yeah, you could do drills and things of that nature, and it helps you build a knowledge base on if you want that player or not. Sure, but nothing compares to turning on the tape, man. Nothing tells the tale more than turning on the tape. What's up, Paranormal? Let's keep going. Long time no see. I've been quiet but watching. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate you watching, Paranormal. Good to see you, man. Zach Curry, at least I wouldn't do it after the Super Bowl, though. I don't see them getting one, but if so, the energy will carry over to the next year. Rose Purdy to the Steelers? No. I think you've said that before, Rose. Downtown John Broadway, what's up? Gesture Prod says, I think DK and GP having 19 unsportsmanlike penalties since 2022 is not the best, but if we bring in AR, I think he can be a mentor for the two of them. The first part of your comment, yeah, that's troublesome always, no doubt about that. You want receivers to have their head in the game, man. You don't want them to be out there being crazy and causing disruption like that, because that's drive killers, dude. Big penalties, unsportsmanlike penalties that you can eliminate, and they're unneeded. They don't need to happen. Things you can control, you don't need to have happen to your team, especially during an NFL football game. So, yeah, those are troubling things. But, guys, I got to be really, really clear about Aaron Rodgers. Really, really clear. And some of you may act like I'm crazy, and I know a lot of people are into this mentor stuff and all this shit. Guys, that's few and far between in the NFL. I really want to be clear about that. These guys, this is their jobs. Making money at playing pro sports is their job. Don't think for 1 minute that any of these guys are really into helping the next guy out and mentor them and be all that. Maybe Aaron will now at this stage of his career because this is his last dance. He's not really going to be out there competing for money in the market. But guys, all this mentorship stuff and all that, we all go too far with it as fans. We all think too much into it as fans. These guys don't want to mentor somebody to take their job. They don't. I mean, I got to be quite honest about that. They may be cool with each other. They may be buddies. They may help out a little bit. But as far as guiding them on their career path, most of these guys don't want to do that. They're not trying to aim for anybody to take their job. Mark Malone, they may as well be playing Frisbee. What's up, Mark? D, saw the Ravens fan put the old bay on it and burn it and chuckled a bit. Yeah, see where it got them. See where it gets every team that burns it. Do they ever win a Super Bowl? No. American Militia, what's up? Won't Rodgers or Russ retire? Nothing wrong with destroying another team for another year. They may retire, and honestly, guys, I got to be real clear about this Aaron Rodgers situation that so many people in the media are blowing out of proportion in a big, big way. And I may even be guilty of it a little bit. But I'm going to be real clear about Aaron Rodgers and his situation right now. Aaron Rodgers' situation is that in which he has to win and win now. Do you think he's going to go to the Giants? Guys, no. The answer is no. Absolutely not. He may go visit there, sure. But it's a win now situation for Aaron Rodgers. He has zero time to go out there and build up with a team and build a franchise. He needs to come into a place that is tailor-made for him to win. And the only answer to that question right now is the city of Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is the only answer. If Aaron Rodgers isn't going to retire, guys, it's going to be the Steelers. It's that simple. And there are sources out there, people talking that the meeting went really, really well and that everything went really, really good. Do I know that to be true? I don't know for 1,000%. I'm just telling you what people have said. But I got to say this, guys. Aaron Rodgers is either going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or he's going to be a Minnesota Viking, and I think the chances of that are slim to none because they want to wait until summer. And maybe Aaron's willing to do that. And are the Steelers sorry enough? Are they sad enough franchises at this point to wait? I mean, maybe they are. Maybe it is the right choice. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe the plan is the plan. That is Mason Rudolph and a young guy. And if you can add Aaron Rodgers to the fold, so be it. If you can't, oh well, continue on with the plan. That's how simple this is, guys. That is how absolutely 1,000% simple it is. And I've heard from people that the interest in Russell Wilson isn't there. Is the door closed? No. But the interest in Russell isn't there. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts, and I'm going to say 90% sure that the Pittsburgh Steelers are following that simple game plan that I just laid out for you. Too evil, to hope with a super chat. Thank you, my friend. As always, where is the 3-generation extension that Tomlin deserves in two of his descendants? Aaron Rodgers just plays to be a mentor for the fun of the game. Yeah, he just plays to have fun and mentor, folks. Yeah, true. Mike Tomlin, maybe Gino and or Dino Tomlin and all those kids, maybe they'll get they're going to be incorporated into Mike's contract that, when Mike's done, they'll just take over the football team. Maybe that's it, Too Evil. And honestly, I wouldn't put it past Rooney to do it. But, man, thank you for the super chat. You always make me smile, man, with those. I appreciate that, my friend. Downtown, hey, Roast, don't be a jack-off. Ratbird stink. Deet says, pro day is your own comfort zone with stuff wouldn't consider pro day at all when making a pick. I wouldn't either. That wouldn't be a major contributing factor into it, and that's why Steelers fans across the world lost their mind because the Steelers didn't go see Kenneth Grant at Michigan's pro day, amongst others. Guys, they did go. Somebody from the Steelers was there. Don't get that twisted. Somebody representing the Steelers scouting department was there. I can almost guarantee that. But what are you going to see from Kenneth Grant at the pro day? What are you going to see? Short of having a meeting with that player, what are you going to see? That's the only thing that would matter there is a meeting with the players. A meeting, a sit down, a dinner, something like that. That would be a factor in drafting somebody. But guys, a pro day don't freaking matter. I get it. All pro days are is just another hype up thing for the NFL to make money off of, guys, because everybody tunes in. Everybody's interested. Now we got stupid ass media people talking about the greatest pro day ever. Are we really to that spot? That's really what we give us. Guys, this is insane. Insane. Anybody in the media talking about pro days like it matters is crazy, and you get a flag. You get an absolute flag. Thank you again to 2Evil20 for that super chat. Sorry, I just cleared it. Malachi Smith, I'm a Steelers fan that lives in Maryland, PA line. Putting Old Bay on a terrible town, burning it is a waste of time and Old Bay. I agree, man. Absolutely, it's a waste of time, Malachi. Where do you live in Maryland and PA, man? I know lots of places on the Maryland, PA line. Oh, shit. Where'd you go, Za? Roast was granted internet time from his mother. Use it wisely. Yeah, hey, you only get so many minutes on your mom's dial-up internet, man. Yeah, guys, listen to Malachi Smith. Hit that like button. It's absolutely free. Send us out into that YouTube algorithm. It's absolutely crazy, you know, how difficult it is and what a journey it's been for us at Mike Drop Sports, building this on our own. No help from anybody. Starting out with 0 subscribers and building it into almost 5,000 subscribers at the current point, but not really having any help. No professional producing, nothing. Nothing at all in that way, and here we sit, almost 5,000, but still yet, it's very difficult for YouTube to recommend your content, to even share your content or bring your name up in the search bar. You have to basically spell out Mike Drop Sports the whole way before it would recommend it to you, for you to find it, but it's just hard, so that's why you guys hitting that like button is so very important, and I truly appreciate when you do it. It's free, it's easy, and it definitely helps. Wave those terrible towels for our resident Steeler fan, Miss Pittsburgh. Truly appreciate it. Downtown says Mr. Rodgers needs to take the trolley to retirement. Make believe land is a lock, both with Brady, so we can turn off the volume. Get it, Downtown. 2Evil20, Aaron Rodgers is just getting started, is what I heard. Yeah, man, he's in the summer of his career, guys. Doug P says, why do we always try to put a Band-Aid on a wound with this team? It's an interesting question, and I'm not sure of the answer there. I think that's changing a little bit with Omar Khan. Guys, we got to remember, Omar Khan's only been with this football team 2 years. So I think things are changing a little bit with that. And we got to remember the quarterback market also that's been available to Omar Khan. I think he's fumbled the bag a little bit at the wide receiver spot, especially last year, allowing Brandon Ayuk to use the Pittsburgh Steelers as a pawn in the game to get more money from the San Francisco 49ers, knowing full well that he was never, ever going to commit to a Pittsburgh Steelers deal whatsoever. He wouldn't have wanted to go there. He used the Steelers as a pawn to get more money, in my opinion. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. I don't know why the Steelers Band-Aid position sometimes, but sometimes the variables that play dictate that you kind of have to Band-Aid things. You can't always go out there and hit home runs. Sometimes you got to hit a couple singles to get the bases juiced and loaded up to go out there and hit that home run and really make that connection. That's the best analogy I can use for it. But again, they have Band-Aided a lot of spots. They have done some stupid things, in my opinion. But there are some variables at play that tell you that maybe they couldn't have done much better. Is Rooney the best owner? Yeah, by far. Tops in the league, baby. Daniel Warman, Jason, what's up, man? Jason, when do you think the Steelers missed the boat on getting a franchise quarterback? Tomlin had to know Wilson or Fields wasn't the answer. I think they missed the boat since Big Ben retired to get a franchise quarterback, but I think it stems to before Ben Rothlisberger retired. I think that plans should have been in place to start thinking about that and to start figuring out a game plan and a path to take in order to get yourself somebody else under center that would have been a long-term answer. But as far as the Steelers missing the boat this offseason, there's nobody available, guys. Justin Fields isn't a proven franchise quarterback. Russell Wilson's not a franchise quarterback anymore for the long term. He's more of a guy that's going to come in here and there for a couple years or a year and do what he does. There was really no real franchise guy out there that was going to come in and be your guy forever. That answer wasn't Sam Darnold. Those answers weren't there, and they haven't been there available to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They tried to go out there and reach for Kenny Kittenmittens. That didn't work out. They've done some of those things, but they haven't been able to hit. And guys, I got to really emphasize this to everybody also. There are franchises that can go 30 years without ever sniffing a franchise quarterback. Getting a franchise quarterback in place is a very difficult task, my friends, and they don't grow on trees. Unless you're one of these teams that pick in the top 5 every year because you suck, you're not going to get many swings at guys that could potentially be franchise quarterbacks. And look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's talk about this Steelers football team. And in real reality, they've had only 2 franchise quarterbacks ever in the franchise's history, really, that we would sit here and we would all talk about and say, that guy was a franchise quarterback, and that's Terry Bradshaw and Ben Roethlisberger. That's it, guys. That is all. Now, you got 4 Super Bowls out of Terry. You got 3 Super Bowl appearances from Ben Roethlisberger, 2 of those being wins. That's it. That's it, guys. And that's what I mean, and I really want everybody to really comprehend that franchise quarterbacks are difficult to come by. And it's just not a snap of the fingers to get one. And I know us as fans, we all as fans, we want that next franchise quarterback to come now. But I got to warn you all, and I got to caution you all. Once the Steelers start to really crank it up and start drafting young guy year after year, it's going to take probably a couple times before they hit, unless they get really, really lucky and somebody sticks. That's just really reality, guys. That's just really what it's going to be. And I want you all to be well aware of that. Please, please. But good question, Daniel. Eagles fan 17. Zachary, I've accepted a tank this year for our record. If A-Rod can expose Mike T and bring him down, I'm for it. A lot of people are saying that, guys. I'm not a big fan of tanking because I think that's weak. But would it hurt the Steelers? No. It would get them up there in the Arch Manning sweepstakes, which is what the guy I want so bad. Man, I wish they would get him. But I have high hopes for this year because I think through a lot of looking at this thing and hearing a lot of people talk that the Steelers are very interested in Tyler Shuck. I don't think they're going to show it as much here because I really think that they want Tyler Shuck. I really, really do. You guys can take that for what you want. I think you're going to start hearing that really, really soon, that Tyler Shuck is a guy that is very high on the Steelers list in terms of quarterbacks that they want to take. And guys, taking a first-round quarterback for the Steelers is really not a realistic option right now. And I know some of you say, trade up. Trade up. The Steelers' only real option in the draft is to trade back. And will they do that? Probably not. How many times has the Steelers traded back, honestly? Not many, not a ton, but, it's not their normal. You've seen them jump up a couple picks here and there. That happens. But as far as the Steelers, their best option probably is trading back. That would get you maybe that second-round pick where I think you should probably take a Tyler Shuck. A guy in the late second, early third. That's where I think he fits. But again, I don't think that his play is going to be that way. I think he will translate into a very good NFL quarterback, but that's neither here nor there. That's something we'll have to see down the road. But I think that that's an option for the Steelers. I think the Steelers, in my opinion, are going to go. If a generational running back is available at 21, I think the Steelers would be comfortable taking a Genty or an Amarion Hampton. I think that they would be very comfortable in doing that. But I think their real focus is getting a guy like a Kenneth Grant, somebody of that nature. But then you look at this thing from the Aaron Rodgers perspective. Perhaps Aaron Rodgers does sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I'm going to go out there and I'm going to up my percentage of how confident I think Aaron Rodgers, being a Steeler, how confident in that I am. I'm going to go to 90% right now. I think 90% yes and 10% no. I really do. That's just my opinion. I may be wrong, but we'll see. But right now, I think you will know within the next week or so if I'm right or wrong. I think Aaron Rodgers signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that deal looks somewhere in the market of 25 to 35 million, in that range somewhere for 1 year. I think the Steelers have been very firm in their offer. They've given him one offer. They haven't changed from that stance. They haven't offered anything different, nothing less, nothing more. They have been firm with their offer. So I think that stands. And I think that is enough to bring Aaron Rodgers in to have one final show with a team that I believe can truly win the Super Bowl. But what I'm saying with this is, if Aaron Rodgers becomes the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, that might change their perspective on first rounders. You look at the Steelers today down at the Texas Pro Day. There's a wide receiver down there that they could be interested in. Golden. There was a cornerback down there, and Barron, Ewers, the quarterback down there, which I don't think the Steelers are going to settle for that, because I think they'll end up getting a Tyler Shuck. But there's also a running back that they're going to have a meeting with, and Jadon Blue. So there could be many, many ways. But again, I think a weapon would be where the Steelers go in the first round if they bring in Aaron Rodgers. I think that that's going to be imperative to them. I think that that's going to be something that they would want to do, because that's what Aaron's going to want them to do. Sign as many weapons as they can, fill that building with as many special, talented players as you can, and make a real run at this. And try to figure out the nose tackle thing somewhere deeper in the draft. But if it's Mason Rudolph, I think they go if a guy like Kenneth Grant's there, I think they go that way in round one. And again, that's why there's several different paths that this could all take, and nobody's going to be able to tell you exactly how this is going to go down, because there are so many outside factors on what happens from now until the draft that are going to make that train go in a different track. So definitely pay attention to how this all goes, and remember the things we're talking about, guys. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us here on Steel City Live. I'm your host, Jason. If you're not subscribed to Mic Drop Sports, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. We only needed 10 more subscribers to hit 4,500 subscribers. So make sure you do that. We want to hit that mark tonight as we're marching toward that 5,000 subscriber mark. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated, guys. And again, super chats are always open to help support our work. Let's keep going through the chat as we always do here on Steel City Live. We try to incorporate you, the fan, more than any other show out there. I truly believe that. So I don't get to watch as many shows as I used to, man. Doing this show and doing life and again, preparing for this and then doing the show. It's like, shit, dude. I don't get to go and watch people I enjoy watching. That's why I've been like here lately trying to think of ways to bring guests on just so I can enjoy talking to people about it, since I don't get to listen to some people anymore, really. Downtown, it was once that the Rooneys was a good ownership, not no more. I'm wondering if Art II is still smoking something weird. Good to see you talking up the boys, Jason. Hope you're well. Thanks, Malachi. I am, man. Hope you're well also, my friend. 28-14 wild card. I don't know what that means. American Militia, are you satisfied so far with all the people we acquired? I don't think it's been bad, but let's face the facts, guys. The Steelers weren't major players inside of free agency, but many people were out there saying they did nothing in free agency, and I don't believe that to be true. They went out there, they acquired 2 cornerbacks, They got several defensive linemen. They just signed, what's his name, Lectus Smith, off of the Patriots, claimed him off of waivers, an offensive lineman. DK Metcalf was a trade, so we can't include him in free agency. But they got a middle linebacker in Harrison. They did things, man. They got players, I don't think it was just horrible, but could have they done more? Absolutely. I don't think they did enough, but I don't think they did nothing. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle there. Could it have been better? Absolutely. But am I satisfied? I'll be blunt. No, I'm not satisfied because I'm never satisfied. But again, the Steelers could have did more. Let's see. Deed, all hail the mighty Jalen Hurts. Tush push. Miss Pittsburgh, wave that terrible towel. Let's go Steelers Nation for Miss Pittsburgh. Danny George, what's up, my man? Very, very sad offseason so far. That's what Danny says. And, I can't blame him for saying that. Again, the Steelers could have done more. I know many people were like, oh, we let Justin walk out the building. I thought they should have signed him. But, guys, that was a gross overpay by the Jets. That's something you didn't want to see the Steelers do. You didn't want to see them grossly overpay for a quarterback that you don't know if they're going to be a franchise guy, if they're going to be able to do enough. You don't know, and you can't grossly overpay for those guys. And I know a lot of people are also like, well, don't sign Aaron, or don't sign this free agent, or don't make this move, or don't sign that player. Guys, the Steelers have to spend the money. They have to. It's got to be spent. And if you don't, whatever's left, if you don't spend, I think it's like 95% of the salary cap or 90% or something, that whatever's under that gets divided amongst the players currently on the roster. So they got to spend it. You know what I mean? But I want to talk to here real quick. Hold on, let me get a drink before we dive into this. I want to talk also about there's some options. Excuse me. There's going to be options for the Steelers potentially like post-June 1, guys. And what a post-June 1 thing is. And let me explain this in a very elementary way. That way we don't sit here and go on and on and on about it. But what a post-1 cut is, for people that may not know. I know many of you probably do know and are aware of what a post-cut or a post-June 1 cut is. But a post-June 1 cut is where a team is able to cut a player from June 2nd and beyond into the summer, to where what it gives a team is the ability to break up that player's cap hit, that salary. This is usually used for players that have bigger contracts, bigger salary cap hits. It gives the team the ability to split up those dead cap money over 2 seasons. And also, what benefits do the players get out of it? The player is able to go and get signed by another team and get to go out there and figure out what they're going to do moving forward. How it is a disadvantage for the player is, 1, they're moving teams, but 2, they are not going to recoup some of those bonuses and things of that nature that may be built into their salary. So that money may go away. But that's a real basic thing, a real basic way of explaining what post-June 1 stuff is. Let's keep going. Tom Ford, what's up, man? James Bauman in the house. He says this was not a great free agency period. No real stud in any position, and not multiple. And franchise quarterbacks don't make the market. Yeah, guys, anybody that's considered a real mainstay pillar of a quarterback, a guy that is considered a franchise guy, they don't make it to free agency, man. And look at Aaron Rodgers, for instance, a guy that Steelers are over the top courting for some reason. This is the first time in his career he's ever reached free agency. I don't know if many of you know that, but this is the first time Aaron Rodgers has had the opportunity to be able to take part in free agency, and perhaps part of the reason that he is dragging his feet a little bit is the fact that he's never got to do this, and he's navigating waters that he's never had to go down these paths. So that may be a reason too. Let's keep going. We should resign James Daniels. He's already with another team, the Dolphins. He's talking to Tom Ford. People forget we had Bubby, Malone, O'Donnell, Tom Zach Stewart, Kent Grant, Tommy Maddox, Jim Miller, and might have missed a couple in between Bradshaw and Ben. Absolutely. And none of those names that you say on there were franchise guys. Bubby was decent at times, big arm guy, but he was decent at times. Mark Malone wasn't a franchise guy. Everybody thought he was going to be at the time, but he wasn't. New O'Donnell did get the Steelers to a Super Bowl, but he shit the bed and then went to the Jets, so he wasn't a franchise guy. And then his career stalled. I think Cordell Stewart was ahead of his time. I think he could be a franchise guy in today's NFL in the era of them wanting running backs at the quarterback position. Maybe he would have been now. Again, I think Cordell was above his time, a good player, but way ahead of his time. Big arm guy, though. Kent Graham, Tommy Maddox wasn't a franchise guy. Jim Miller wasn't a franchise guy. None of those guys were that person, that guy that was going to be able to guide your franchise into the next era of Pittsburgh Steelers winning football to help contribute to that trophy case. None of those guys were it. Za says, I don't want to lose, but if A-Rod comes, I've accepted the fate of it not being good. It could potentially, guys, it's going to go one of two ways. It's going to be mediocre Mike time, or it's going to be complete disaster. That's my opinion. I don't foresee the Steelers being able to win a Super Bowl behind the 42-year-old arm of Aaron Rodgers. That's my opinion now, currently as it sits. Now, maybe this roster transforms into something that's super great that anybody could kind of win with. Maybe that happens. But for right now, I think it's going to go one or two ways. So we'll see how it goes. Let's keep going. Doug P., if you want your team to tank, you're truly not a fan. James Daniels, I believe, got signed somewhere. Yeah, the Dolphins, James. Gerald Ross, hi, Mike Drop Sports, Broncos fan here. What's up, Gerald? You don't bleed black and gold more than me. Hey, guys, we're all fans. Not a competition of black and gold bleeding. Trust me. We all love each other here, man, so stay tight. Don't go back and forth about who's a bigger fan or who's not. QB in the second round. Edward, they don't have a second round pick. So if the Steelers were going to get there, they'd have to make a trade. Either trade a player, trade draft capital, whatever. They would have to make some sort of trade acquisition to gain a second round pick. Jamal McCullum, would taking a cornerback in the first round be a consideration for the Steelers? Sign Russ and draft a quarterback in the third. I think a cornerback could be a possibility, but here's the thing. This cornerback class, in my opinion, is pretty deep. I think you can gain a cornerback. Also, guys, they signed Darius Slay to a one-year, $10 million deal. They signed Eccles, also, a guy that can play inside out. They already have Joey Porter Jr., Corey Trice. So, drafting a cornerback, is that a major necessity? Probably not a first-round necessity in 2025. Guys, I got to say this. It's either a weapon offensively or it's a defensive tackle. Defensive nose tackle, a defensive front guy. I think it's one of those two things. And I think a quarterback can be acquired later in the draft also, round 3. I'm hanging my hat on a guy like Tyler Shuck. Now, if his value seems to be increasing, maybe the Steelers figure out a way to trade something to go into round two to ensure maybe the possibility of getting a guy like Shuck. But if not, you go with the next best options and you deal with it. But again, I think it's going to be a weapon because I think Aaron Rodgers will be a Pittsburgh Steeler before the week is over. I believe before Monday hits, I believe Aaron Rodgers will be a Pittsburgh Steeler for sure. Guys, I'm at 90%. I can almost guarantee it. And I don't like to say that I don't like to say things until I know them to be true. I don't like to say those things to you guys, but you're hearing it here right now. I can almost guarantee you that Aaron Rodgers is a Pittsburgh Steeler, and I can say that pretty confidently. That I believe that to be true. You can take that for whatever you wish. We did that. Aaron holding out for San Francisco. No, he's not. Still 43. Don't have a second round pick. Yeah. Jamie D. Greetings, yins guys from Frederick, Maryland. Who else may take this season off if the Steelers sign Aaron Rodgers? I've watched for literally 50 seasons, and I don't think I can stomach that. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to watch the Steelers. I know many of you always say, and this is no disrespect to any of you because you are entitled to do exactly what you want to do. It's your life, and I can't tell you to watch the Steelers or not. But guys, I'm not taking a year off from watching the sport that I so very much enjoy watching, the sport that I absolutely adore. I'm not going to be willing to do that because they signed a certain player, guys. I don't care what political stances. I don't care their attitude. None of that shit. Once they become a Pittsburgh Steeler, they are part of the Pittsburgh Steelers family, and I'm going to support them for that. And I believe every team should do that. Whether it's right or wrong, that's for you to decide as a fan. But taking a year off from watching the Steelers for me is kind of just not in my wheelhouse, man. I'm going to continue to support the team I've grown up watching, the team that I love to watch, and regardless, whether I agree with their decisions or not, that's part of the fun. Talking about this football team, discussing the moves, that's part of the lore of the NFL. That's part of the fun of all this stuff we do here on YouTube and Mike Drop Sports. That's it. We talk about these moves, whether they're right or wrong in our eyes. It is what it is. We hash that out here, talking amongst each other as friends. But I appreciate what Jamie's saying. If somebody wants to, so be it. Do you, man. But me personally, I'm not. Only the guy who bleeds the most blood is a real fan. Now bleed. Max Thunder, ready for football. Don't think we do anything but still fun. Here we go. Don't need Rodgers. We got Mason, Mark Malone. Major holes to fill in the draft. Quarterback, running back, D-line, guard. I think guard wouldn't hurt, but I think a swing tackle above a guard because you still have Isaac Seumalo under contract. Mason McCormick played really, really well for where he was drafted and what he was expected to do. I think he was really, really good and did really, really good things. Now, could he have been better? Absolutely. But when I take in all the variables, I think that he did a phenomenal job. As far as drafting a guard, you could do so, but I think more of a swing tackle type guy is what you're looking for. A Swiss Army knife across that offensive line. I think you still have one of those guys in Spencer Anderson that can do it all kind of deal. But getting one more wouldn't hurt. But a guard, I mean, if you find one, you find one. Cool. But is it an absolute hole to fill? I don't think that it is in my eyes. Now, a lot of people I talk to love the idea of getting a guard. And I'm not discounting it. I just don't think it would be tops on my priority list. Max Thunder, ready? We did that. Levi's on the Steelers makes sense. Levi jeans? Levis. Oh, you meant Levis. Okay. Will Levis. Yeah, that makes sense too, Evil. Get him over here. Get that son of a bitch over here now. Mark Malone. I thought about it after Tomlin's last playoff game, the hellish December. Yeah, guys, man, we're always so hype up until what, like week 10? Week 12? And then the wheels fall off this bitch, and then we're all like, oh, shit, man. JD, what's up, man? JD, what's up, dude? How are you, my friend? Good to see you, man. Man, I'm glad to see you back, bro. I'm so glad to see you back, JD. JD is one of our original mic drop people, man, from early on, man. JD, man, I am so happy to see you in the chat, man. So very happy to see you, my friend. Miss P, I'm a Steelers fan for life, super fan, and fanatic. Tell Miss P, wave that terrible towel. Zach Curry, Mark, it is impressive that you did play in the NFL. You had to be extremely athletic. Kudos. Yeah, Mark Malone, man, he's an NFLer, man. Mark is definitely that guy. I know he's pissed off at me whenever they listed him up there earlier in the chat, and I said Mark Malone wasn't the franchise quarterback. But Mark Malone is our franchise quarterback. Right, Mark? Let's keep going. Black and Gold. Hey, how are you doing today? Living in Maryland, I'm lucky to watch 5 to 6 games every season without having to pay for season pass. I would never give up an opportunity to watch my Steelers play. What's up, Black and Gold? Good to see you, my man. Zaz says, I'm confused. LOL, I thought you were at Mark. He is, man. Mark, just play it on, man. Everybody always thinks you're Mark Malone, the quarterback, the former quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we might as well just roll with it. Danny George Mason effing Rudolph, baby. He is an answer. All gas, no brakes at the end of the season, LOL. Black and Gold, if we go back to the O-line again in the first round this season, it wouldn't hurt. Guys, it never hurts to go to the offensive line, and that's why I'm not discounting when Mark said guard was a hole that he wants to fill. I can't discount it fully. I can't say no, because when you draft offensive linemen, it is never an issue, guys. Any pick made by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they are on the offensive line, and that's where they go, guys, it's a solid pick. You can't hate it. You can't hate it at all. JD says, good to be back. Got to get caught up on things. Love you guys. Thanks, JD, man. We missed you, bro. It probably looks a little different right now. We got a lot of new people. We've got a lot of new subscribers. We're almost up to 5,000 now. But again, JD's one of our OGs, bro, from way back, man. Way back when we first started this shit. So, again, good to see my boy JD back. James Bauman, only quarterback Steelers got a shot to take in the first round is Dart. Before the combine, he was second round pick. And what James brings up there right now, guys, when he says Dart was a second rounder before the combine and things of that nature. These are all projections that the Mel Kipers and shit of the world make. Okay. But what you're going to see is this. Combine performances, for some odd reason, pro day performances, things of that nature. Maybe something comes out about their character, perhaps. Something here or there. You're going to see stock rise and fall with these quarterbacks, and it's really hard to nail down where they'll go. You can guarantee a couple of them will be in the first 10. But again, guys, what is the draft all about? And how does it all unfold usually? It's runs of players. At certain position groups. When you see them come off the board, you'll start to see runs of them. So you may get a player that's at a certain position that you may necessarily not had as a first round grade get drafted inside of that first round because of runs on position groups, needy position groups for teams, where teams need defensive linemen, teams need offensive linemen, teams need quarterbacks. You'll see those runs on those players. Dakota Kid, don't let the cops blackmail you over them Steelers. Happen to my uncle. He's in stuff. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Jonathan Stevens, what's up, man? I hope we got a deal with Rodgers. I think we do. I think, again, guys, you heard it here, and I'm going to stand behind it. I am. And I'm not just saying it out of thin air. And I'll leave it at that. But Aaron Rodgers is a Pittsburgh Steeler before next Monday. Remember I said it. And we'll see what happens. Again, I could be very well wrong. But again, I think I'm 90% sure that that's going to happen. No doubt about it. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us here on Steel City Live. Only here on Mike Drop Sports. I am your host, Jason, as always. Welcome to the best YouTube channel on the internet, man, on all of YouTube. We're here, man, and we truly appreciate that. Your fan comments matter more than anything here, and we truly try to value that. So make sure you're putting your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the live chat. There's some other things that I wanted to talk about earlier, so I want to make sure. I did write some stuff down earlier. We were talking about like the June 1 stuff. Maybe a guy like Derek Carr is available. But again, guys, teams use these things to get out from underneath some of these contracts that these quarterbacks are on. But if you talk about a guy like a Derek Carr, perhaps, this is a guy over the last, you take the last 6 seasons of Derek Carr's career. And you look at his performances as a whole. He has 5 of those seasons where he's thrown 20 or more touchdown passes in that season. So that's pretty decent. A guy throws some touchdown passes at the NFL level at a decent rate. Nothing to be mad about there. And then you look at some of the other things that maybe aren't so good. He's had 2 seasons where he's thrown 14 interceptions. So you're going to get some good with the bad there, guys. So when you're looking at some of these quarterbacks that may be older, that could come in one of these post-June 1 cut downs or something like that, you got to be leery of what you're getting, but would they be a bad choice? No. But again, guys, you have a great backup plan, and that is Mason effing Rudolph, baby, the true number 2. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping the screen. We need you to beat the shit out of that like button for us here on Steel City Live. We'll go for a little bit longer tonight, so buckle in. We'll keep going for a little bit longer. I do, Jonathan. James says that's not true, Jason. I swear when it comes to the draft, most of the time Tomlin throws at a dartboard. I hope that not to be true. I don't think that to be true, James, and it does seem that way. And I get what you're saying, no doubt about it, brother, because you become frustrated with some of the things that they do. But again, guys, I encourage you to go back and look at a post I made on the community section where it'll have a tab that says posts. Go down and you'll see I did a little bit of content on the Steelers' last 15 draft picks in the first round. Why don't we take a peek at that real quick? Because James brought that up, and I want to make sure that I don't mess it up. Also, I want to say thank you to our boy Sean, who comes on the show. Many of you know and love Sean. You're fans of Sean. He sent me a package with coffee and some stuff in there. I posted it on the community section also. So I want you guys to give Sean a thumbs up, man. But thank you to Sean. Always so great, and I appreciate his friendship very, very much. But 11 out of the last 15 first-round picks for the Pittsburgh Steelers are no longer on the roster, my friends. Now, take into consideration 2 players out of the 11 are retired. And 1 player on the roster that's not on the roster is out due to a significant injury with Ryan Shazier. Broderick Jones and Troy Fautanu being the last 2 first-round picks. TJ Watt, Cam Ward also in those 15 picks made in round 1. So the Steelers have missed on really 7 of the last 15 first-round picks that they've made, guys. So take that, and that's almost half. They've been over half have been decent. So we can't totally say the Steelers suck at making draft picks in the first round. Because again, 7 of the last 15 first round picks that have been available to them. So they've only missed on 7 of them. So that means they've hit on 8 of those players, guys. 1 year, the first round pick was given away for Minkah Fitzpatrick to the Dolphins for a great safety, especially at the time of the acquisition, and he had major impact onto the Steelers, so I would call that a non-miss also. But how do Steelers fans really feel about those stats, guys? Honestly, again, out of 15, they hit on 8 of them. Look at other teams and see how their statistics are in that category. Are they better than the Steelers in that aspect? I think it goes in trends. I think it goes in stages. But again, it's just, food for thought, guys. Sorry, I deleted the person that was spamming there. Sorry. Let's go back in here where we were. Pickens Metcalf 12. Should the Steelers be on the phone with the Cardinals for Kyler Murray? Guys, the answer to that question is no. Absolutely no. First of all, Kyler Murray is very, very, very vertically challenged, guys. Vertically challenged in a big way. Is he worth mortgaging your franchise's future on? I mean, honestly, is he a good player? Absolutely. Is he a solid guy? Absolutely. Is he bad to have on your football team? No. But is he worth risking and mortgaging the future for him, guys? The answer is absolutely no, guys. The Steelers have a golden opportunity in front of them right now. And I'm telling you, some may not see it, but I'm telling you, it's set up perfectly right now for them. And they just have to navigate things the correct way, and things will continue to look on the up and up for them. Super chat coming in from Blue Horror Cult. It's black and gold here. This is my other account. What is your go-to game time snacks or meals? Thank you, Black and Gold. Appreciate you, man. And appreciate the super chat from you. Truly, truly appreciate that, my friend. My go-to game time snack is popcorn. I know it's simple, but that is my go-to, guys. Blasto butter popcorn. Me and my kids, we make it every single Steelers game. We have usually a Coke in a glass with ice, and we usually have that Blasto butter popcorn. It is a every game ritual for us. So definitely my go-to snack. But thank you, man. I appreciate that super chat. Guys, super chats are always available here on Steel City Live. Get your comment, boom, read instantly. Appreciate it very much, and thank you for supporting what we do here at the channel. Also, guys, I updated you a little bit yesterday. I am in search of a couple people that I've reached out to that are content creators that do this same stuff about the Steelers and things. I'm waiting for some emails back. We'll see if anybody wants to come on and talk draft. Again, I want to get you several people to come on, hopefully. It's hard sometimes with schedules. Some people just, aren't interested at all. Some people, it's just hard to line up their schedules. So, we'll see how many we can get on. But I want to give you as many perspectives from people out there that talk about the Steelers on a daily basis of what they think about the free agency period and what they feel like the needs are and how they're going to navigate this 2025 NFL draft. So we'll do our best. We'll see. You, of course, will have my perspective and Sean's perspective, no doubt about that. But we were definitely trying to get some more people. Tom Wishel in the house. Yours from Texas in the 3rd round. What a chance of Rodgers staying healthy all season. I don't know if I like yours there, Quinn. Yours there. I don't know, man. I'm more of a 4th, 5th type grade on him, in my opinion. But I mean, you're right. If Aaron's there, what's the chances of him staying healthy? But guys, do not forget Mason effing Rudolph, guys. Don't forget that. He's not a bad quarterback, and he played very, very well when he was inside of a Pittsburgh Steelers helmet last time. Jamal McCullum, man, I missed the dang show messing around at work. Did you get my question regarding cornerback in the 1st round? I did hear a reporter talking about that option. They got 2 corners in free agency, so do I think that it's a 1st round possibility? Probably not, Jamal, but I did get your question. I answered it. I think the Steelers are going to gear more toward defensive front or a weapon, depending on if Aaron Rodgers signs, how that all goes. But cornerback, I think, is also a deep position inside of this draft that I think you can find later on also, considering that you got 2. Also, you still have Trice. You still have Porter Jr. So I definitely think the Steelers could find some options later in the draft, instead of a first-round selection. But if a generational talent's there, guys, at any position, you take best player available. You don't pass that up. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us here on Steel City Live. I truly appreciate it. Let's jump those likes up for us here on the show. Appreciate the super chat so far. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate any shares that you may have done. And also, don't forget to subscribe, guys. I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Join one of the best communities on YouTube. That's right here at Mike Drop Sports. A rapidly growing community that grows every single day. So we want you to jump on board with us. Let's keep going. Jonathan Stevens. Derek Carr is from my hometown, Bakersfield, California. Same with Joey Porter Jr. and Joey Porter and Jordan Love and DJ Reed. Oh, nice, man. Joey Porter Jr. Played high school football in North Allegheny, I believe. Yeah, they might have been born out there from Bakersfield. That's interesting, Jonathan. I didn't know all that. Mark Malone brings up a good point, and I think a lot of the Steeler fans need to get on board with this. Mark Malone says, yeah, I ain't scared to roll into game one with Mason and a rookie, and I'm not either, guys. I'm not afraid of that at all. Not at all. Donald Loudenback says, Wilson signs with Giants. Let's see how true that is. Our boy Russ Wilson. Let's see. Let's see. Russell Wilson reportedly joining. This is 10 minutes ago, guys. Breaking news here on Mike Drop Sports. Thank you, Donald Loudenback. Russell Wilson reportedly joining the Giants on a 1-year, $21 million deal. This according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. The deal for the 36-year-old quarterback is reportedly for 1 year, up to $21 million, with $10.5 million fully guaranteed at signing for one. Russell Wilson, guys, this almost tells you one thing, guaranteed for sure, my friends. And that is the Pittsburgh Steelers will probably have the services. I'm going to up my thing now. My percentage now is this. 99.9999% that Russell Wilson or that Aaron Rodgers will be a Pittsburgh Steeler this week. This was the domino that fell. This takes the other team that was in contention out for Aaron Rodgers, guys. Are there really any other suitors? Perhaps there's a dark horse somewhere that nobody's talking about. But I got to say this, guys. I don't think there is any other option for Aaron Rodgers. I just don't. It's the Steelers or retirement. And again, if you're the Steelers, if you got to roll in there with Mason fucking Rudolph, then get it done, baby. Who cares? And draft a young guy. This shocks me, though, the price of Russell Wilson, guys. I told you that he was looking for 30 to 35 million, and that market wasn't there for him. And he did realize that he wasn't going to get it, and there he secures his 2025 season, now becoming the starter of the New York Giants for $21 million. $10.5 million fully guaranteed. So, guys, now that both the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterbacks from last year, both quarterbacks that started games for the Pittsburgh Steelers have been basically signed, if Russell's rumor is true, which is reported by Adam Schefter. So we'll say that it's pretty damn secure. That means a combined $61 million were invested into those two quarterbacks for the 2025 season, guys. $61 million and $40.5 million fully guaranteed for those players. And the contracts total 3 years total, guys. That is for both the quarterbacks of the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024. Let that sink in. $61 million. That's what those guys were signed for. I don't know, guys. Make it make sense. So again, breaking news: Russell Wilson to the Giants on a $21 million deal with $10.5 million fully guaranteed at signing for Russell Wilson. That is another domino to fall, one of the last dominoes to fall in this game of quarterback free agency in the NFL, and it all but tells you one thing. Now, who wants Aaron Rodgers? He was reportedly going to go visit the Giants, but the Giants aren't playing the game. And they go out there, they reach out, they find Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson goes to now his fourth NFL team. He has been a Seattle Seahawk. He has been a Denver Bronco. He has been a Pittsburgh Steeler. And now going to his fourth NFL franchise. And does this hurt Russell Wilson's legacy, guys? I think the answer might be yes. Because he's not been able to find the success that he had in Seattle. That's troublesome. And that could really hurt his legacy in the long term. But again, how weird is it that this has all fell into place here? But here we go. Let's keep going. Wave that terrible towel for Miss Pittsburgh. Let's keep going. Hell yeah, Blasto Butter is my way better pop secret. Nice cold Pepsi, can't go wrong. Absolutely not. Pickens Metcalf, Russ to the Giants. Jason, look, thanks Picking Metcalf 12. I didn't see you, man. I didn't see you guys put that. Donald Loudenback, this is how you have to look at the Rodgers thing. Rodgers 28 TDs and 12 interceptions, or Mason's 18 TDs and 9 interceptions. Yeah, two different teams, no doubt about it. And I see exactly your point, Donald, no doubt about it. Boomtown, Jets fan here. Thoughts on Rodgers' ceiling with the Steelers? Mediocre Mike season. I don't expect him to win a Super Bowl, but I think he can win 10 or 11 games. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button here on Steel City Live, as Russell Wilson just now being reported by ESPN's Adam Schefter to be signing with the New York Giants for $21 million, $10.5 million fully guaranteed. And now both the Pittsburgh Steelers from last season in 2024 are now signed for a combined total of $61 million, totaling 3 years for both of them. Total, that's combined, guys, with $40.5 million fully guaranteed at signing, combining both of those guys. It's astronomical figures, guys. Astronomicals. Boy, life is sweet to be a quarterback in the NFL, because you can absolutely be dog shit and get out there and make a fucking bag. Ain't that crazy, guys? We did that. Daniel Barry, what's up, man? Miss Pittsburgh Mason is going to take us to the promised land. Truly appreciate your insight from Jamal McCollum. Thanks, Jamal. Appreciate you, man. Would the Steelers try to draft a quarterback, WR Prods? Absolutely. They're definitely in the quarterback market in the 2025 draft, guys. They probably will sign or draft a quarterback in the 2025 draft. Will it be a first-round quarterback? Chances are no, probably not, but more like a third or a fourth. They have no second-round pick. D, that is insane for Wilson. That's from D. Yeah, I agree, man. I don't think he's worth it. I don't. I just think he fell off. I had great hope for Russ. I thought he was going to be awesome. And he came out swinging. But once defenses figured him back out, that was it. And the Steelers don't adjust, so that didn't help him either. Jamal McCollum, yeah, Mason and a rookie, it's the best bet for the fans at this point. Much higher hopes for Mason. What about the Vikings? That's from Zah. Good, I'm glad he's gone. I don't think Mahomes could have done any good behind the Titans O-line. That's from D. Me too, man. Why do you think they paid? Guys, that's another thing about the Mason Rudolph saga that nobody pays attention to. The Titans are so fucking desperate for offensive linemen. They went out and handed Dan Moore Jr., guys. After his performance last year, his front half of his season was really good, but his back half was dog shit. And they paid him $80 million, guys. They handed him a bag, bro. Yeah, and the Titans' offense was really bad all around, no doubt. I agree, Jonathan. Many people discount our boy Mason. Two is nice, boy. Two is nice. Let's keep going. Bryson, you said no to Anthony Richardson, but what about Kyler Murray? I just answered that, Bryson. You'll have to rewatch it. I don't want to go through that answer again. I appreciate it, though. Just rewatch the show. It was about 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago I answered that, if so. You got to take hits for that bag? Yeah, I'll take all the hits in the world. Hit me, baby. Hit me, baby, one more time. Yeah, I'm down. Hit me. My Floyd is Pink 79. I keep seeing rumors Sanders' draft stock is dropping. Could Sanders fall to us and would we draft him? Yeah, I think if Shedeur Sanders falls to the Pittsburgh Steelers at 21, they take him. I think that is definite for sure. Dunk it, stamp it, whatever you got to do. But I think the Steelers would be highly interested in that. I don't think the Vikings are as interested in Aaron Rodgers as Aaron Rodgers is interested in the Vikings. I think the Vikings have basically told him, buddy, we'll call you later in the summer if need be. But maybe that's how this whole thing works out. But guys, here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers can't go anywhere in the summer. And if he does, it's a mistake. It's a real mistake, guys. Why? Why is that a mistake? He's not getting any time to go and work with any of these players he's coming to play with. None of these new receivers. He's never played with any of them. None of them. None on the Vikings, none on the Steelers. He's not done it. They're both new offensive systems that aren't going to be willing to change to the Aaron Rodgers offensive system. Neither team is going to do that for him. Aaron Rodgers isn't in the same position as he is that he was in with the Jets. He dictated everything with the Jets. Why? Because they are a weak franchise. They'll do anything. The Steelers and the Vikings, I don't believe them to be that way. Neither franchise. And especially the Vikings coming off a 14-win season. Do you think they're going to abandon ship on their play charts, their play calls, their playbook for what Aaron Rodgers says? Hell no. Hell fucking no, they're not, guys. Come on. The Steelers might adjust a little bit, but I don't see it. Jamal McCollum, what do you think of this Russ pickup for the Giants? I hate Cowboys, and my girl is a Giants fan. I hope Russ balls out. I hope he balls out in the NFC. Good luck to him, but I can't see Russ being ultra successful with the Giants, guys. You're taking him out of a team that has less weapons than the Steelers do. You know what I mean? Less of a defense than the Steelers do. Less of a team than the Steelers do. He went into a worse situation, if you ask me. I'd always listen to trade offers, Mark. Mark says I'd be listening to trade offers. You always listen to trade offers, guys, if you're an NFL GM. And here's another thing about being an NFL GM that I think is highly discounted and highly overlooked by the media masses. And that is, if you're a general manager, you already if you're going to make a trade and you're going to give away a player or draft capital, you already have to have a plan in place of how to replace that draft capital or how to replace that player. You have to have a plan in place. And bad GMs don't. They make moves haphazardly. That's how teams get bad. That's how bad GMs do bad GM type things. That's it. You got to have a plan in place to replace what you spent. I agree, D. I agree. Steve Winters, what's up, man? Black and gold, I agree, Donald. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Guys, all right, man, I've been going for 74 minutes, a lot longer than I normally do. Matthew, yeah, we do. His name's Mason Rudolph, Matthew. But I got to wrap this show up. Make sure you're hitting that like button on the way out if you already haven't here on Steel City Live. Make sure you subscribe to the best damn YouTube channel out there. We truly appreciate it. The greatest community on YouTube is right here on Mic Drop Sports. So make sure you subscribe, like, share, all that good shit. And don't forget to become a Mic Drop Mafia member. 99 cents a month, always 99 cents a month. That helps support our work here at the channel to provide you daily content each and every day. Appreciate the super chats. Appreciate everything that you guys do. Great community here, man. Great community. So thank you. God bless you. We'll see y'all tomorrow right here on Steel City Live. Peace, my friends. See you.